want to talk. I want to talk a little bit about sort of your presence on social media, because I'm always interested to learn and hear about other people's experiences. How long have you and Emma is your missus' name, right? I just try thinking of Emma. How long have you two kind of been doing the YouTube thing now, and how did it start for you?
Well, I've been doing YouTube coming up a year now. If you've not heard the story, I deleted our first channel had like 3,000 subs, and I deleted it after about 16 cans of lager in an absolute meltdown. So we started a new one just now. We're on 600 now, 600 subs. But we've been doing it a while now. Like football Twitter's been a thing for us for quite a while. I've only been really into it over the last like year or so, but Emma's like big on football Twitter, and you know it can be a really horrible place, if I'm honest. I'm not gonna lie, like everyone's entitled to opinion, right? But if someone doesn't agree with your opinion, then by God, don't you know it? Do you know what I mean? Like people are fucking horrible. It's not ideal, mate. And obviously Emma being a woman, she gets tarnished with the same brush as some other people on Twitter, like, oh, you don't know anything about football. But she's actually really knowledgeable. Like, I'm not just saying that because I'm married to her. She actually, if anyone's watched our videos before, you'll see us, we'll do live videos, and you'll see her put me to shame most of the time. Like, I was like, just a couple of weeks ago on my old channel, it was the Everton preview, it was, right? And I was like, no, Everton are 5th. Even though I know we're 5th, I'm saying Everton are 5th. They're actually 11th. And I was like, shut up. Do you know what I mean? It's that sort of stuff. And then, like, I just want to sort of emphasize the fact that, like, she does know her stuff. And it's like, people just need to chill out on the whole like, women don't know anything about football, like, because it's wrong.
And excuse me for saying this. I want to put on this thread as well. Your missus is an attractive woman as well. And I think that doesn't help sometimes when people want to throw banter, because it's almost that element of, especially as your missus is kind of, you know, she looks how she looks and she's proud of it, you're proud of it, and you're not scared to hide it. And I think that I always say I did a big video last year that went viral about Sophie Rose, because a lot of people treat her in the same sort of way. To try and put her down, they'll pull on other things she does, or the way she dresses, or the way she talks, as an example. And it's just weak. What I would say to it's weakness. And I think that I bet when people are bantering you, do they bring your missus up to you if they're trying to like upset you?
Mate, all the time. Yeah. I get called Jason Punchin all the time. Do you know what I mean? All the time, mate. Oh, Jason Punch. Look at Jason punching. Oh, you're punching this. You're doing that. Look at you. You fat ogre. I got called an ogre. I got called an oaf the other week. Do you know what I mean? So it's always like, oh, you're this, you're that. How the fuck have you pulled that, and etc. etc. Yeah, mate. I get fucking hammered, mate.
But you did.
I pulled it.
You pulled it.
And
married it.
I
It's
got
yours.
babies, mate. So I'm winning.
Yeah, exactly. And this, I always say this to people on YouTube. I've had this conversation with Sophie Rose before, Sophie from the United Stand as well, and hairdryer treatment, her channel. People on the internet will always pull on the thread that they think that's going to get the reaction out of you, or that's going to keep you away. So for you, it will be your missus is attractive, so we're going to try and make you feel like you're not worthy of her. For your missus, it will be, well, we'll pull on the sexism. We'll go for sexism. Get in the kitchen, your feet are small, go back to cleaning and cooking. You know, when it's someone who's, you know, if someone's, for me, it's a real difficult one, because I don't really, other than my children, that sometimes come on, this is where it comes from. Sometimes my kids walk in and they're on screen, but I don't share really any of my private life on socials at all. You know, where I go, what I do. I can be with my brothers, and if I put a camera in my brother's face, he'll nut me. He's like, get away from me, you mug. But I keep it all private. So the only thing people ever come after me on is my children. They tried the hairline because my hair's falling out, but again, it just doesn't bother me, right? But they went after the kids because they're like, oh, kids will get him. You know, Adam Charles on my channel, it's obvious what they're going to go after him with. They're going to go after racism because he's a black guy. But that's what they pull on. And I think they go for what they know you're vulnerable with. And DT was always an example to this for me. As soon as I think he reacted, and rightfully so, he reacted once very emotionally to people slagging off his brother's passing. And I said to him at the time, I get that it's horrible, but as soon as people see that as something that triggers you, that's what they're going to go for. Like, if someone says something about your missus and they saw you go mental, you're going to see it multiply, triple, quadruple. that make so? I did an experiment recently where I started talking a lot about my supposed clickbait titles and I purposely tried to debunk people by saying I'm not clickbait and this is not clickbait and this one's worse. This channel's worse than me. I was telling everyone behind the scenes I'm going to do it. Watch more people now start calling me clickbait because they think it bothers me. And because they think that bothers me, they'll all start leaving it as a comment thinking that, oh, Terry's going to see this. He's going to be pulling his hair out even more than it's falling out because we've triggered him. Where it was more just me trying to prove to people that as soon as you engage with the people on the subject matter they think you're weak about, it multiplies. So what you're better off doing is just ignoring it, and it does go away. In terms of Man United Twitter, Man United socials, of course, you've got the United Stand and the full-time Devils that you operate in. But you seem to be kind of a guy who flickers between the two in terms of... Because often the full-time Devils buds and bodies really don't like at all the United Stand guys, but you kind of seem to be a bit of a conduit between the two. You seem to sort of just get on with everybody.
Yeah, no, listen, right. There's like some sort of beef between the two channels, right? And I don't get it. I know someone on Full-Time Devils. No, actually, that's wrong. I'm gonna name it. Someone on the United Stand has a problem with someone on Full-Time Devils, not naming names, but I'm one of these, mate. Like, if I'm friends with someone, I'll be friends with someone. Like, I've asked people to do videos of me before, and they can't. And to me, it blows my mind. It does, but it is what it is. And I do stuff on Full-Time Devils because I like it. It's local to me. Like, I'm in Stockport. The studio's 30 minutes down the road. Like, drive to Manchester City Centre. It's local to me, I'll go and do fan cams. I get on with everyone, and Full-Time Devils always have. I get on with Aaron and Saeed, was two of the people that I first ever sort of had proper conversations with on Twitter. Obviously we've met and done stuff in town before. And I've spoke to Mark all the time on the phone a couple of times. You know what I mean? So it's not like I don't have any problems with anyone on either channel, but I just do stuff for Full-Time Devils because I enjoy it. And I had a conversation with Saeed the other day, a couple of weeks back. I can't remember what game it was. It might have been the Wolves replay, the FA Cup replay. And he said, Saeed, believe it or not, used to do stuff on Full-Time Devils way back when. And
I know he did. Yeah, I remember him on there.
It's about the vibe, mate. And I just got the vibe from Full-Time Devils. Like, it was just, for me, it fitted. And for other people, it doesn't. So it is what it is, mate.
Yeah, no, I get that, and I watch all of them. I watch the Stretford Paddock, which obviously Howson, which is
I've been on Paddock as well. Look. I've done stuff for Paddock.
And I know that's different from Full-Time Devils, but I always look at Full-Time Devils and think of Howson as well because he was there when I used to do a lot of stuff with them. I watch the People's TV. I know Sam Peoples. We used to travel from London up to Manchester to watch games together. I kind of watch everybody's, and I think what I've kind of noticed is I did some real stupid shit 3 or 4 years ago, and I was going through like a crap time in my life, and I projected. Someone annoyed me from the United Stand, and it was a case of, right, I'm gonna get you. And what was stupid, every time I did one of those kind of videos where I'm gonna get you, I got double the amount of shit back. But that then it made me spiral even more, and I then took like 3 months off because I had to generally from life, and I went and sort of recouped and got myself together, and just had sort of a moment where I thought, I'm going to focus my energy on growing my channel and doing it because I enjoy the YouTube sort of vibe. And I now watch everybody. I've apologized for what I've done wrong, and sometimes I want to knock people's heads together because I just think that this is an industry that needs to grow. There are conglomerates every month that are buying YouTube channels and taking them over, and then they look great, but suddenly they're no longer authentic YouTube where you can say what you want, do what you want, speak how you want. And I think it's important that channels keep that fan into, the point, why AFTV and Red Men and FTD was so big is it gave fans for the first time ever a genuine voice to get things out there, and it started going viral. And I know I speak to Andy Tate still quite a bit, and it's like a case of It's massive. And, I knew Adam McCullough before Full-Time Devils was a thing. We used to sit near each other in Old Trafford, in the Stretford End and stuff when I had my season ticket. And I get people are busy and everyone's doing their own thing, but it's like, you've worked with that group now, so you can't be in my group. And, you've done stuff for them, you can't be in that one. And I just look at it and think to myself, most of the time, and maybe not between the two people you mentioned, and they will remain nameless, but everybody knows who we're talking about, to be honest with you, they've got a bit of a personal issue. But most of the time, it's because you've challenged somebody's opinion, which is the whole point of why we're here. Do you get where I'm coming from? Like, if me and you had a Barney on here tonight arguing and debating over something, I would come off air and go, that was quality, mate. Loved it. Because that's what being a football fan is. Every coach ride, every train ride, every car journey to every football match my whole life with family or friends, there's been heated debate and argument. It should just be taken in the right way. And I actually think, and I've said this for years, two things with YouTubers. One, they want to, if they're doing very, very well, they want to keep it to themselves, which isn't going to grow the overall industry. But more importantly, people are scared of being shown up. And they think if they lose a debate, or they think if on this particular argument, the consensus of the group says, nah, you're wrong and Carl was right, or you're wrong and Saeed was right, that means your career's over on YouTube. It's like, it won't be. Because I always think about this. I always think about a day where I'd love to see, like, Flex and Mark and Rance and Howson and you and Cola and Sam Peoples just, like, sit down in a circle and just talk about United. I don't think people realise how epic that would be. And equally, challenge Mark, challenge Howson, like, push at each other, get fiery. Someone storm out and come back in and go, let's get back to it, because you love your club. People would love that. And I used to get that all the time with Louis. Louis will tell you from 100% Chelsea. It's to beg for him to do stuff with Sophie and with Rory, because it would have been huge. And I don't get it, man. People let their personal feelings get in the way of and I'm not going to call it business from a financial point of view, but they let it in the way of creating something brilliant. And it's always a frustration for me. It really, really is at these people. And I'm not even putting myself in that. And I also messed up as well once. I messed up. I tried to do a show because I never understood YouTube when I first started. I didn't realize people were creating businesses. I thought everyone was doing it like me, like with a webcam and a microphone in my bedroom. And started calling people out to come onto a show of mine called The Football Question Time, where they wouldn't know what the subjects were going to be. And then we'd throw them out there. And it was to try and catch people out. It was to say, right, you give it the big one on the internet that you know all about, you've got good football knowledge. But let's come onto a show where you're not prepped and you're going to get asked questions and you've got to debate it. And the only person who responded to me was Claude, who says, my football knowledge outside of Arsenal isn't good enough, so I'm not going to come on. Everybody else just blocked me. And I was like, maybe I was a bit aggressive in my approach. But it was kind of, I was sitting there at home going, you've got all these really good YouTube channels and none of them are working with each other. I should have done it in a nice way. Should have tried to have been their friend instead of going, you don't have the balls to come on my show. But yeah, nobody wants to work together. I find it very, very strange, mate. I really, really do. To finish it up, talking United, you're very much Ollie in, aren't you?
Massively, mate. Yeah, massively Ollie in, yeah.
And what's your thoughts on this resurgence recently, the last 11 games? Is it a purple patch, or are we now starting to see the real Ollie come to fruition?
Yeah, you'll get people saying it's Ollie, and you'll get people saying it's not Ollie, because obviously when he came in, was it 16 unbeaten, and then we went on a real downward slope, and now we're on an upward trajectory again, and you got to put that down to one is signings. I think Bruno Fernandes has absolutely turned it around for us, and I'm not going to deny that. And on the flip side to that, though, you got to think: is he what was missing? Like we were doing the things right. Don't get me wrong, we conceded a few goals here and there, but we always lacked that creativity. We were getting into the position to create something, and then giving it to players that couldn't create anything. And that's where we're lacking massively. Pogba's been injured for God knows how long. Bruno's come in and absolutely lit it up. So I think, yeah, I do think it's down to Ollie. He's got it absolutely spot on in the big games. Absolutely spot on. Like, you can't fault him in the big games. And I think against the lesser teams in the league, I think the only thing you can bring it down to is not enough creativity, because to break lesser teams down, you need someone to create something, and when someone doesn't create anything, you're not going to score enough goals. So I've always said on my channel and on Twitter and stuff, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer might not be the guy to win us a title, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer might be the guy to lay the foundations for someone else to come in to win us a title. So if he completes his 3 years, if he completes his 3 years and builds a squad that's capable of winning a title, and someone else comes in and wins us a title, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to need a lot of plaudits for what he's done for this club. He's Manchester United through and through. He absolutely loves the place. He adores Sir Alex. He adores everything about the club, the fans. He knows what it takes to win. And I think he just needs time, man. Like, the things he's done since he's been here, he's given us some great memories. That night in Paris, do you know what I mean? The 16 games unbeaten. Even now, I feel like we're unbeatable. Do you know what I mean? He brings that United feeling, that Manchester United fan feeling back. He does bring it back. And I think the Glazers have played an absolute wonder card, because they're not going to get off. They're not going to get off lightly, even though they've employed Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. They know they're in serious trouble with the fans when Mourinho went, and obviously when they even for like 6 probably months before Mourinho went, they knew they were in trouble. And even when we was on a downward spiral with Ollie, they really did know they were in trouble. But they're onto a winner, because we're not going to turn on anyone when we've got a club legend who's won us the biggest trophy in the world in the last minute of a game. Do you know what I mean? We're just not going to turn on the manager.
Well, some people did.
Yeah, no.
I kind of did. I did call for him to be sacked, to be fair. I can't lie. I mean, I was never nasty about him, but I didn't think he was good enough. But my mind is starting to change. I can feel it.
And do you know what, though? And this is what I was saying, right? I never, ever, even though I've been pro Ollie in, even Emiraz, pro Ollie in all the way, like, even when we're losing and playing really bad. And he's not. And when I say I'm Ollie in, right, and I say all this stuff about him, all this positive stuff about him, I don't say you can't question the manager. Of course you can question the manager. His substitutions sometimes were absolutely appalling. Some of his tactical setups against some of lesser teams, absolutely shocking. And I'm not saying he's not questionable, and I'm not saying he can't learn on the job, but he needs to back. We've done it, mate. We got Mourinho in, failed. Right, well, say failed. We won a couple of trophies, yeah. We haven't won the league, right? Mourinho is probably the glory story from it all. Van Gaal failed. Moyes failed. Do you know what I mean? We need to just relax. Fergie got time, and I know football's changed, and I know there's a lot more money in the game now, and I know fans are a lot thicker, if that's a word, back from when Fergie took over. But Fergie was like a couple of games away from losing his job before he won the FA Cup, and then look what he did. And I think this season could have been the season where people go, actually, do you know what? Like, we win an FA Cup, we win the FA Cup, we win the Europa League, and we get Champions League football within a top 4 sort of spot. And people are going to turn around and go, do you know what? This guy actually, he's got a bit here. Give him some money in the summer, and I don't care who you were. Everyone's thinking, fucking hell, we could challenge it next season if we get 1 or 2 in. Get a Jack Grealish, get a striker, get Jadon Sancho. Well, we're challenging it. And even if you're Ollie out, you're saying that. I don't care who you are. So he's not the wrong man, is he? He's not the wrong man. He may get changed in a year and a half, when his contract's up. But it is what it is. You've got to back the guy. Whoever's in charge, you've got to back the manager, mate.
Yeah, no, I get that. And I think it's what I always say to people. There is a difference between, I didn't think he was good enough, but I'd back him in the sense of every day I wanted him to succeed. And I do think there's a fundamental, I don't know if you saw it on Sunday night, I had a bit of a Barney debate with a few people that were like, no, if you're Ollie out, you just Ollie out. You can't back him and want him sacked at the same time. And I kind of disagree. I think that there's a fundamental difference between those two things. I was a long time where I didn't want Fellaini at the club. But it didn't mean I wanted him to do badly when he played. You'd still want him to do well and cheer him on. I think that those two things can coexist. I really do. But mate, listen, I really appreciate you coming on the show and having your say. I shared your link a little earlier in the live chat section, and I'm going to do that again right now so everybody can see it. Go and check out That United Family. Go subscribe to their channel and watch the content over there. Again, very different from most Man United channels. It literally is about you and your family, which is which is nice.
Yeah.
It literally is that, which is different because most of the time it's just, dickheads like me that sit in a spare room that's been turned into a studio in their house, like just chatting. Pure breeze, mate. But so nice, very good. So go check out their channel over there, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone who else is tuned in tonight. We appreciate it massively.